Hi, Korede here, and in this video, we're going to be talking about ChatGPT. Yes, you have me right. ChatGPT. That's what we're going to be talking about. Now, you might be wondering, why are we going to be talking about ChatGPT? The reason is simple. I've seen a couple of videos produced by a couple of Muslims asking ChatGPT questions, bringing some information out, and then concluding that because of what ChatGPT has said, Islam must be true. One of such video is something like this.
ChatGPT, without any bias, without any religious dogma, I want to know what is the best preserved word of God between the Old Testament, the New Testament, and the Quran.
And here is another one.
Let's ask ChatGPT. Hey, ChatGPT, I have a question. So today we're going to discuss a little bit about Prophet Muhammad. So I want you to reference the Quran and the Hadith.
So you get the idea, all right? So the essence is to ask ChatGPT questions and use these responses that ChatGPT has given to propagate the religion of Islam and says that, hey, Islam actually is the true religion and therefore there is no other faith that can be compared to Islam. So, but in this video, what I'm going to be doing is to demonstrate the reason why Muslims should not use ChatGPT to propagate the religion of Islam. I'm going to be engaging with ChatGPT in this video. I'm going to be asking ChatGPT a question that is germane to the Muslim faith. And what question is that? I'm going to be asking the question of the different version of the Quran, or just as some Muslims will actually prefer to hear it, the Qira'at. That is the different reading of the Quran. So one of the argument of the Muslim is that the Quran is actually one all over the world. There's only one Arabic Quran all over the world. At least an average Muslim or a lay Muslim actually believes this. And this is one of the strongest beliefs that a Muslim have, and then therefore believe that the Islam, okay, that he believes today, the Islam that is come to accept today is superior to the Christian faith. And therefore the Quran is superior to the Bible. Why? Because the Quran is one Arabic Quran all over the world, and then you have different translation and version of the Bible. But in this video, I'm going to be asking ChatGPT if that particular notion and submission is true. And we're going to be seeing what ChatGPT would say about that. Now, if you're new on this channel, make sure you subscribe. In fact, we've discovered that based on the analytics that we have, and especially the what you're seeing on the screen right now, the most people that actually come to watch our content do not subscribe. You can see that over 90% of the people that come to watch the content do not subscribe. Do not be like those. Please make sure you hit the subscribe button and also hit the notification button so that anytime we have the video, you'll be notified about them. All right, so let's talk with ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT a couple of questions, especially as to the one, understanding that the Muslims have the one version of the Quran all over the world. Hi, ChatGPT.
Hello, how can I help you today?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing well, thanks. What can I do for you today?
All right, so I have a question for you. I hope you don't mind me asking the question.
Of course, feel free to ask. I'm here to help. What's your question?
All right. So the question is about one of the claims of the Muslims concerning the Quran. The Muslims actually believe that the Quran is the word of God and has been preserved in the Arabic language, and that the Quran is in Arabic all over the world. So anywhere you go in the world, the Quran is usually in the Arabic, meaning that there's only one version of the Arabic Quran. Do you believe that?
That's an important question. Many Muslims believe that the Quran, as revealed to Prophet Muhammad, is preserved in its original Arabic form. They believe that the Quran has remained unchanged since it was revealed. This belief is central to Islamic faith. As for my perspective, I aim to provide information and foster understanding, respecting different beliefs and viewpoints. If you're exploring this topic, it might be helpful to learn about various perspectives through respectful dialogue and study.
So, do you agree with the Muslims that there's only one version of the Quran all over the world?
I don't have personal beliefs or opinions. My goal is to provide information and help you explore different viewpoints. If you're interested in understanding why Muslims hold this belief about the Quran, it might be helpful to study Islamic teachings and engage in conversations with people from that faith. This can provide deeper insights into their perspective.
All right, so are there different Arabic versions of the Quran that exist today?
In Islamic tradition, there are multiple recognized methods of recitation known as qira'at. These different recitations are considered variations in pronunciation, dialect, and some minor differences in wording, but they all convey the same core message and teachings of the Quran. These variations have been preserved and are accepted within the Islamic tradition. However, the core text of the Quran remains consistent across these recitations. This diversity is part of the rich heritage of Quranic recitation.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you for admitting that there are at least differences in the versions of the Quran, and that the Muslims actually acknowledges this, and it's part of the heritage of the belief in the Quran. But then I want to be specific right now. Can you show me a difference between, for instance, the Hafs version of the Quran and the Warsh version of the Quran? Can you cite an example of one of those differences?
Certainly, one well-known example of a difference between the various qira'at recitations involves the word used in Surah Al-Fatiha, the opening chapter of the Quran. In the Hafs narration, one of the most common recitations, the verse 1-1 is recited as Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the Warsh narration, which is another recognized recitation, the same verse is recited as Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, with slight variations in pronunciation and vocalization. These differences do not change the meaning of the text, but reflect the diversity in how the Quran has been transmitted and preserved. This rich tradition of qira'at is respected and valued in the study and practice of Islam.
Okay, since you did mention that the different reading of the Quran does not actually change the meaning of the Quran, can you actually give me an example of a difference in Quran chapter 3 verse 146 between the Hafs and the Warsh reading of the Quran?
Certainly. In Surah Al-Fatiha, chapter 3, verse 146, the differences between the Hafs and Warsh readings are primarily in pronunciation and some vocalization. In the Hafs reading, the verse is recited as وَكَأَيٍّ مِّن نَبِيٍّ قَاتَلَ مَعَهُ رِبِّيُّونَ كَثِيرٌ. In the Warsh reading, the verse is recited as وَكَمْ مِّن نَبِيٍّ قَاتَلَ مَعَهُ رِبِّيُّونَ كَثِيرٌ. The difference here is in the word wakam in Warsh, which is pronounced slightly differently from waka'ayyin in Hafs. Both versions convey the same meaning, emphasizing the struggles and victories of the prophets and their followers. These variations highlight the rich oral tradition through which the Quran has been transmitted.
I think there's something that you missed about the verse that you've just recited right now, which is Quran chapter 3 verse 146. You did not actually talk about the difference such as the katal and kutila. What do you say about these two differences between Hafs and Warsh in Quran chapter 3 verse 146?
You're right, and I appreciate the clarification. In Surah Al-Imran, chapter 3, verse 146, there is indeed a notable difference between the Hafs and Warsh recitations regarding the verbs qatala and qutila or kitila. In the Hafs recitation, the verse is وَكَمْ مِن نَبِيٍّ قَاتَلَ مَعَهُ رِبِّيُّونَ كَثِيرٌ وَكَمْ مِن نَبِيٍّ قَاتَلَ مَعَهُ رِبِّيُّونَ كَثِيرٌ. In the Warsh recitation, the verse is وَكَمْ مِن نَبِيٍّ قُتِلَ مَعَهُ رِبِّيُّونَ كَثِيرٌ وَكَمْ مِن نَبِيٍّ قُتِلَ مَعَهُ رِبِّيُّونَ كَثِيرٌ. The difference lies in the verb. قَاتَلَ means fought or battled. قُتِلَ means was killed. Both versions emphasize the challenges faced by prophets and their followers, but the choice of verb slightly shifts the focus from the act of fighting to the outcome of being killed. This illustrates the diversity in recitation while maintaining the overall message.
All right, great. Now, do you now admit that there is a significant difference in these two different versions of the Quran, the one in Warsh and the one in Hafs? Do you admit to that?
I understand your point. The differences between the Hafs and Warsh recitations are indeed significant in terms of pronunciation and wording, and they highlight the rich tradition of oral transmission within Islamic history. While these variations exist, they do not alter the core message and teachings of the Quran. Both readings are respected and accepted within the Islamic tradition. The presence of these variations reflects the diversity and depth of the Quranic tradition.
So, if you're saying that it does not affect the core meaning of the text, here's the question I'm asking you. Is fight the same as killed in English language or even in Arabic? The word fight, is it the same as the word killed? Does it mean the same thing?
You raise a valid point. In both English and Arabic, the words fight and killed carry distinct meanings. Fight generally refers to the act of engaging in combat or battle, while killed refers to the outcome of someone being deceased as a result of an act. In the context of the Quranic verses, the difference between qatala, fought, and qutila, was killed, does highlight different aspects of the narrative. Fought emphasizes the action of engaging in battle, while was killed emphasizes the consequence of that engagement. While the core message of the verse remains about the struggles and sacrifices of the prophets and their followers, the choice of words can affect the nuance of the interpretation. This
Be-
is why both read.
Beautiful.
I
Beautiful.
appreciate your.
Continue, please. Continue your explanation.
Certainly, the distinction between fought and was killed in the Quranic verses illustrates the depth and richness of the text. Even though both readings convey the same overarching message about the challenges faced by the prophets and their followers, the specific choice of words can offer nuanced insights into the nature of their experiences. In the case of qatala, fought, it emphasizes the active struggle and effort in the face of opposition. On the other hand, qutila, was killed, focuses on the ultimate outcome of that struggle, highlighting the sacrifices made. Both readings are part of the rich tradition of Quranic recitation and are respected within the Islamic tradition.
All right, ChatGPT, thank you very much for admitting to the differences in the readings of the Quran. Okay, now, folks, you can see right there that ChatGPT has admitted to the fact that there are actually differences in the Arabic versions of the Quran. Initially, ChatGPT came off telling us the traditional narrative that there is only one Arabic Quran all over the world. And then, after further proof, ChatGPT actually admitted to the fact that, yeah, there are different readings of the Quran, but all of the messages are actually the same. There is no difference. Then, when I prove further, ChatGPT admitted that, yeah, there's a significant difference in Quran chapter 3, verse 146, which actually mentioned that with the prophet who are engaged in the battle, one was actually just engaging in the battle, while in the other reading, it says that they were actually killed. And as we know, fighting and killing are not the same. So ChatGPT admitted to the fact that, yes, this is actually a significant major difference. Now, folks, if you're listening to this and you're Muslim, you see the reason why you should not use ChatGPT for your Islamic research and try to use this as a form of showing that Islam is actually superior to the Bible. Because right there, you can see ChatGPT admitting that indeed there are differences in the reading of the Quran. Even though ChatGPT is still saying that the overall message is the same. How can you admit that there are different readings, fighting and killing, and you're still saying that the messages are actually the same? ChatGPT is actually reasoning just like, an average Muslim, that even though we're seeing a different reading right here, we're seeing significant differences, we're still going to say that everything is the same. All right. So if you're a Muslim out there, be careful the way you use ChatGPT. Why? Because ChatGPT can actually go against your traditional belief and then exposes what you think is actually an argument for the Islamic faith. If you're a Christian, make sure you actually send this video to your Muslim friend and let them see how ChatGPT can be unhelpful sometimes when the Muslims are trying to use this to propagate the Islamic faith. This is Korede here. Over and out.